Hello and welcome to presentation regarding actuarial science. My name is Neil McConville. I am the Programme Director for the BSc Actuarial Science and Risk Management degree here at Queen's University. I'm going to bring you through some of the things that we talk about in university. We have some content of what an actuary is, some content of the course, and some information on the actual process of qualifying as an actuary in UK and Ireland. So, a bit of background on the university itself. So, Queen's University is a member of the Russell Group Research Intensive Universities. It's ranked in the top 250 universities in the world, and it's actually based in Belfast, which is one of the most affordable cities in the UK. Queen's itself invests heavily in its infrastructure and has some of the most state-of-the-art facilities, and they continue to invest in the facilities and in their students as well. And it's very, very important that we have access to the best of the facilities. So to give you a bit of an idea of who I am, so I've already said I'm Neil McConville. Anybody that spotted the opening schedule noticed that I'm Mr. as opposed to a doctor. So one of the key things is I'm an actuary. So I'm an actuary that teaches in the university. So to give you a bit of a background on me, I'm actually a graduate of Queen's University. So I graduated from the BSc Finance a long time ago. There was no actuarial degree at Queen's at the time. So I did the BSc Finance in Queen's University. I am a former pensions actuary and scheme actuary certificate holder. I have over 18 years experience in industry. And that's a very useful thing for me because I'm able to bring my teaching or my skill set and my experience into my teaching. I qualified as an actuary in 2010. Initially started my career in Aon in Dublin. So anybody that's a Manchester United fan will remember that Aon used to sponsor Man United a long time ago. I'm a Liverpool fan, so slightly smug here. I worked in Dublin for about 4 years, moved to Belfast in 2005 and worked for Mercer Human Resource Consulting and then ultimately Carr Henderson, where I qualified as an actuary in 2010. I'm also a part-time consultant in the Belfast and Dublin actuarial markets. So I maintain my knowledge and maintain my industry experience as well. So I'm able to bring that into my teaching, which I've already mentioned before. So I get asked this question a lot. So what is an actuary? So we have some kind of text boxes here to give you a bit of an idea. So the first one is someone who uses mathematics to solve a business problem. You could say that if anybody that works in business, anybody who works in the finance department of any company uses some form of maths to solve problems. Middle one, we're getting a wee bit closer. So actuaries apply financial and statistical theories to solve real business problems. To be fair, we could say economists, statisticians use similar principles as that middle box. So it doesn't really separate out from what actuaries do. The one on the right-hand side, as you look at it, is the most relevant for me. An actuary is a business professional who deals with the financial impact of risk and uncertainty. And that's what we deal with. We deal with risk and uncertainty. To put it another way, we put a price or quantify financial risks. So I'll run you through a bit of an example in this next slide. So actuaries are employed to quantify financial risk. So what does that mean? So actuaries review past experience. So we have a look at what's happened in the past. So I'm a pensions actuary by training. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to ensure that our clients set sufficient monies aside for them to pay themselves an income when they retire. So we have a look at the past. What's happened in the past? How long are people living? So we need to say, right, you need to set aside a certain amount of monies to meet your goals as you retire. So we model that experience using statistical models. So we build what's called mortality tables. We project the model forward into the future. So you think of it, you have a person that may be 45 years old, joins a pension scheme. They're going to work until age 65 and they're going to live till age 85 for simplicity. So that's a 40-year window. So what we will do is we'll project cash flows into the future. We'll estimate the timings and amount of those cash flows, and then we'll put a price or a present value on those expected future cash flows. So what we do is we say, right, over the next 20 years, you need to pay X% of your salary into your pension to enable you to achieve a pension of £20,000, £30,000, whatever. But we bring that back to today's money and say, if you start paying 20% of your salary, for example, that will enable you to meet that pension when you hit age 65. So we advise our clients how to fund this in the case of pensions, or how to mitigate against risks. So the risk for a pension is people living longer than they expect, so you run out of money. So we give advice on how to mitigate that. So actuaries work in many fields. The main fields that we work in is protection. So you may have protection of a person or of a thing. So we work in pensions, investments, life assurance, and general insurance. So those are the standard fields. We also have what's known as a reinsurance industry. So that's effectively insurance for insurance companies. So anybody that's familiar with bookmakers and betting, sometimes if a bookmaker has a large bet, they may do what's called lay off a bet, i.e. spread it around other betting shops. And that's what effectively reinsurance is. Reinsurance companies or insurance companies don't want to be exposed to risks of flooding or fire or terrorism. What they do is they spread it around other insurance companies. We're also making a move into more wider fields. So we also are involved in risk management, banking, and there's also actuaries in public sectors. So believe it or not, there's a government actuaries department, and they are involved in calculations such as your national insurance calculations for anybody that has a part-time job. Where do actuaries work? Actuaries work in any major city in the UK and Ireland. There's thousands of actuaries in London. It's the main financial centre in the world, so of course there's going to be thousands of actuaries, but there's also actuaries in major cities in the UK. So we have actuaries in Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Stirling in the north of Scotland. In Ireland, actuaries, there's about 1,000 to 1,200 actuaries based in Dublin. So Dublin is a huge financial centre. It's not as big as London, but it's certainly very big. We also have actuaries in Navan, in County Meath, Galway, Cork, and in Donegal. In Northern Ireland, we have actuaries based in Belfast. There's a limited number of opportunities in Belfast, but there are opportunities nonetheless. In Belfast, there's probably about 30 to 35 qualified actuaries. The actuarial community is that small, you can actually identify where you are. So I'm actually number 20. As the 20th actuary to qualify in Belfast. So you can actually pinpoint where you are in that kind of order. One of the key things about being an actuary is it's an internationally recognised qualification. If you qualify as a fellow of the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries in the UK, which is what I am, I'm a fellow of the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, you can basically work anywhere in the world. Basically, what you can do is you can go to America, Australia, Singapore, anywhere, and basically sign a form, pay a fee, and you can work as an actuary. There's two of the main qualifications in the world for actuaries is the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries in the UK and the Society of Actuaries in the US. There's some accounting qualifications that won't even get you out of Ireland without having to do additional exams. So being a fellow of the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries is your ticket to go anywhere in the world. So to give you a bit of background on what we actually do here at Queen's, so I've given you a bit of an idea of what an actuary is, and now I'm going to talk a wee bit more about the degree itself. So the degree actually commenced in 2007, so it's a fairly new degree. So we started graduating our first set of students in 2011. It's a 4-year degree with 3 years at university, so your first, second, and fourth year are at university. Your third year is where you actually go and work as a trainee actuary. So it's called industrial placement, but effectively you're working as a trainee actuary. So we'll talk a wee bit about the placement in a few slides' time. It's a broad-based, intellectually demanding degree. So it includes mathematics, it includes a lot of mathematics. So we see maths, statistics, probability, actuarial modelling. It's all mathematical. That's the background and the cornerstone of the skill set of the actuary. So you have to be very comfortable with numbers. So that's one of the key things. The entry grades for the degree in 2019 was 1 A star and 2 A's at A level, or 3 A's plus an additional A at AS. So what that actually means is if you did 4 subjects at AS level, you got an A on one of those subjects and left it behind, then you only need 3 A's in the remaining subjects at A level. If you only do 3 subjects, it's 1 A star and 2 A's. One of the A levels must be mathematics. I said in the previous slide, this is a mathematical degree. It's not a maths degree. It's a mathematical. You're using your mathematical skill set. We get asked a lot about the use of further maths. Further maths will be a useful addition to your A level set, but it's not required. It's the same way if somebody did A-level accounting or A-level economics. It will give you a small advantage in related modules, but not in the total module set. So don't get too hung up if you're not doing further maths. Mathematics is the key A-level that we require. So to give you a bit of an idea what the degree actually looks like. So in year one, we're straight in, no messing about. So we have in semester one, financial reporting and analysis. So that's an accounting-based module. We have introduction to statistics, so you're doing stats, and then economics as well. So you have accounting, stats, and economics. So straight in, there are the cornerstones of being an actuary. So you're probably thinking, why am I studying accounting modules? Don't want to be an accountant. Why am I doing economics modules? Don't want to be an economist. Actuaries are both experts in economic situations and also accounting principles. So what that means is we are experts on both sides of the balance sheet. So we need to understand liabilities and we need to understand assets. For economics, we need to use the drivers of economic principles to drive our financial assumptions. So you need to understand what factors influence inflation, for example. So I'm a pensions actuary by training. Pensions and salaries are linked to inflation. So we need to understand the drivers of inflation to drive our salary and pension increase assumptions. Moving on to semester two, we have more stats, we have more economics. But then you come to me in actuarial mathematics one. So anything that has risk or actuarial in the title of the module is only ever taught to the actuarial students and is only ever taught by actuaries. So we have 3 actuaries on staff and we're all fellows of the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, and we only teach the actuaries in the undergraduate modules. You'll also see there that we have the placement preparation module. So over the last number of years, we have started introducing the placement team to our first year actuaries to get them thinking about what area they want to work in when they go in placement in year 3. Moving on to year 2, we now have Excel and VBA modules, we have financial risk modelling, and we have actuarial maths 2 with me again. So every couple of years, we have meetings with our employers who take on our placement students and take on our graduate students. And we ask them for feedback. How can we improve the degree? So a number of years ago, one of the issues for our employers was that the Excel skills of the students wasn't what they should be. So we introduced Excel and VBA. So the students were building models in Excel and VBA. So once they moved into placement positions and graduate positions, employers came back a number of years and said, their Excel skills are good, but they need to be able to build models. So we developed financial risk modeling to do that. So again, students are exposed to software known as model risk, where they're building stochastic models. Then we move into semester 2. So we have principles of actuarial modeling, placement learning, actuarial methods in general insurance, and investment analysis. So you can see that risk and actuarial appear in 4 modules. So they're only taught to the actuaries, and what we're trying to do is prepare the students for their placement. So we're giving them the basic skill set and skills to enable them to go out in placement and add value. So I've talked a wee bit about placement, so I'm going to spend the next couple of slides giving you a bit of an insight. So year 3 combines academic theory with industry relevant focus. So the students go out normally on a 9-month to 12-month placement. So we have placements based in Dublin. So we have SCORE Reinsurance, we have Aviva and Irish Life. We also have placements in Belfast where we have Carr Henderson, Mercer and Deloitte. And we also have opportunities in London as well. So we have great relationships with the Pension Protection Fund, for example, the PPF, which is like a lifeboat scheme for pension schemes in distress. We've also had students based in Hong Kong, we have students based in Boston, and we have a student this year going over to work in Vancouver in Canada. So we have massive opportunities for our students to develop the skills of a trainee actuary and also to get a taste of what it's like to work as an actuary. So these are some of the testimonials we've had from our students, and it really encourages to take time to have a read through these testimonials because you can see the value the students get from going out on placement. One of the key things to note, our students aren't going out to make tea or photocopy. They're going out to work as trainee actuaries. So they're treated the exact same as the graduates. And in some cases, they add such value that when the students are finishing their placement positions after 9 or 12 months, they actually have an offer of a graduate position. So you think about how much pressure is lifted in your final year if you have received a graduate offer from your placement provider. You know them, they know you. So it's a big attraction for our students to get a good placement with a good company with the potential to get a graduate position at the end of it. So once our students have completed their placement year, they come back to us slightly different in the sense that they're more professional in their behaviour and their approach. So in semester 4, we're finishing the degree, but we're also still working towards the exemptions, which I'll talk about in the next couple of slides. So again, semester 1, we have actuarial applications, financial engineering, financial econometrics, and semester 2, actuarial modelling, stochastic process finance, and capital markets. So again, you can see that actuarial appears there again. So again, only taught by actuaries and only taught to the actuaries. The key things here is that once our students have finished their degree, they've got a degree from a reputable university, but they also have the added bonus of being able to obtain exemptions from professional exams from the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries. So what am I talking about? So the Actuarial Science and Risk Management degree at Queen's has been accredited by the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, which is known as the IFOA. To qualify as an actuary in the UK and Ireland, you have to pass 13 professional exams. Our degree in Queen's University has an accreditation agreement with the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, where students may obtain exemptions from the first 6 exams. So that's CB 1 and 2, CM 1 and 2, and CS 1 and 2. So how do you achieve this accreditation exemption? If students achieve a 65% average or more over the 3 teaching years, then they may be eligible for the Block 6 exemptions. So what I mean is, if you have an average, arithmetic average between first, second, and final year, we also allow for placement in there as well as a module, you will get the accreditation exemptions. So you don't have to get 65 and over in every year. You can basically get 60 in first year, 70 in second year, 65 in final year, average of 65. If you don't obtain the accreditation average of 65, then we go to subject by subject. So our modules in the actuarial degree map to Institute and Faculty of Actuaries subjects. So if you perform well, for example, in Actuarials Maths 1 and 2 with me, you may be eligible for the CM1 exemption. So our students, if they don't come out with the block exemption, which a lot of them do, normally they come out between 1 and 5 exemptions as well. So what is the attraction of the exemptions? To qualify as an actuary, you have to pass 13 exams, as I've already said. So a lot of our students enter paid employment and undertake professional exams as offered by the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries. So if you have come out with the first 6 exemptions, that means you've only got another 7 exams to go. So professional exams will probably take another 3 to 4 years. The rough rule of thumb is that students pass on average 2 exams per year. So if you come out with 6 exemptions, you've knocked 3 years off qualification if you were starting from scratch. So for example, I did a finance degree. I only came out with 1 exemption, and therefore I had to go through the remaining exams. So you're knocking a massive amount of time off your qualification process. To give you a bit of an insight, students that I taught that graduated 3 years ago, some of them are actually starting to qualify now. So in the last 2 weeks, I have found that the 2 of my students that only graduated in 2017 have now qualified, which is a phenomenal achievement. If you do not want to pursue a career as an actuary, other opportunities are to enter paid employment in the risk management environment, because again, the actuarial skill set transfers across there, and also to move into data science as well, which is a growing industry as well. Other options include to continue in education and study at Queen's University, doing the MSc in finance or the MSc in risk and investment management. And to give you a bit of an insight, I teach on that as well, as do one of my other actuarial colleagues, because of course we are able to come at it from the risk perspective. So is this degree for you? So this opening line, we have to put it in. Nobody's ever going to admit to being interested and enthusiastic about mathematics. Another way of putting it, do you find mathematics easy? Do numbers jump out at you? Do trends jump out at you? Do you have a skill set that you want to enhance? So do you expect to achieve an A-level maths without any problems? Do you want a career where your numerical skills are highly regarded and used every day? And do you want a highly regarded career with an excellent employment prospects that is financially rewarding? People ask me, how do I know if I want to be an actuary? I ask a number of questions. So I say, do you have a logical mind? Do you like processes? Do you like to break things down? So break a large problem down into a series of smaller problems. If you solve the smaller problems, by default, you solve the larger problems. So do you want to use your skill set to your advantage? That's what I do. I'm very numerate. I was very interested in going out and meeting clients. So I became what's known as a consulting actuary. So if you want to use your skill set and avail of that, then maybe actuarial science is for you. So to give you some more information, you can find us in the management school. One of the key things about our actuarial degree is it's out of the business school as opposed to the maths school. So we have access to finance professors. We have access to other actuaries who are at the top of their game. So please go to the management school to have a bit more of an insight into the actuarial science and risk management degree. And for those looking more information on the actuarial profession itself, I encourage you to go to the IFOA's website, which is www.actuaries.org.uk. So I'll just finish up here with an extremely flattering picture of myself. But if any questions, please do not be afraid to get in contact. So hopefully I'll see you maybe next year. And if any questions, please do not hesitate to get in contact. So folks, all the best and look after yourselves. Thank you. Goodbye.